Let me now show you a program which can generate a random number between a lower limit and an upper limit that is specified by the user. This is a very important program, especially when you want to deal with huge data sets where you don't want the user to enter the data set manually. So let's go with it. So include the header file, stdio.h. And for this program, we are going to include two additional header files. The first one is the standard lib.h, and the second one is the time.h header file. We are going to use some of the functions available in these two header files as well. So int main void. So I'm going to have two variables called lower, and I initialize lower to 1. And I have another variable called upper, which is initialized to 100. So the reason I have these two variables is I want to generate a random number between these two values. So that is, I want to generate a random number between 1 and 100. Next, I'm going to have a variable called rand underscore num, which is basically going to store the generated random number. And the next thing is we are going to initialize this, or we are going to seed the random number generator with time of 0. So which means that it says use current CPU time as the seed for the random number generator. So these two functions are available in time.h and stdlib.h. And the logic is rand underscore num equals, we invoke the rand function and we use upper minus lower plus 1 plus lower. This rand function can generate a random number between the lower limit of the integer and the highest limit of the integer, or the upper limit of the integer. Now, since that number can be anything, which can range from negative 2.1 trillion to positive 2.1 trillion, we are using a modulus operator and setting the limit to be the upper minus lower plus 1. So we are forcing it to generate a random number between 1 and 100. And then we can have a printf which says random number generated is percentile d, comma, rand underscore num. Okay, return 0 and run this program. So it says the random number generated is 8. Let's give it another run. Now it says 30. Let's give it one more run. Now it says 50. And give it another run, 70, and so on. Now, if you do not seed it, uh, see what happens to the code. So it says random number generated is 42. Okay. Run it again. It says again, random number generated is 42. So if you remove this line, you're going to get the same random number every time you run the program. So to generate a different random number every time you run it, we need to have this srand time of 0. Now it's giving random number generated is 97.